You're listening to Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte, brought to you by the Patrick Glaros Mortgage Team, DP Lambert at Goose Insurance, and Stryker Roofing. And now your host, real estate broker, team leader, best-selling author, coach, consultant, and speaker, Todd Tramonte.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to Texas Real Estate. Big news today. Really big news. We got some headlines that we have got to cover. I tell you what, folks. The writers over at the Dallas Morning News have been putting in overtime on this one. I think they've read some new books, and they have spoken to the masters of manipulative headlines. Folks, I don't know if you know this, but in the month of May, DFW absolutely turned on local small business owners. I mean, DFW residents literally refused to go inside restaurants and favored drive-thrus. It was an attack on small local business owners. Not only that, people, but there was also just an absolute opposition. I'm almost a boycotting, just a brutal mob that must have gotten on a conference call late at night and chosen to just absolutely refuse to attend water parks and outdoor recreational facility. It's crazy what happened.
Theaters. They boycotted movie theaters.
Yeah, just refused to go inside those theaters. Those poor theater owners never saw this coming. And if you haven't caught on to the joke yet, that's how stupid some of the headlines are in the news right now. The actual article does reference the unbelievably obvious reason that March and April and May were a little bit different here in Dallas-Fort Worth and the rest of the world. But the headlines, classy as ever, coming out of the Dallas Morning News and others. Here's my favorite one right here. You ready, Mason? A little rattle of the paper so you know I'm actually reading this. Statewide home sales continue to decrease. Dun, dun, dun. What? Thanks, Little John. Statewide home sales continue to decrease. That's it. That's the headline. No other information. No reasonable reference to the obvious cause. Just a little scare tactic. Just a little panic instilled in the hearts of the consumer. How dumb is that? Now, like I said, you get into the article, and the article does reference that, hey, we were dealing with a pandemic. Turns out no one was allowed to leave their house, so maybe they bought fewer houses. You know what, Mason? Maybe less people put their house on the market, and so there weren't even enough homes to buy.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's like it wouldn't make sense except for maybe the first time in most of our lifetimes where the government literally didn't allow us to leave our houses. That might be the difference. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. Folks, you're listening to Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte. Ian Daniels, the English wonder, is not with us today, spending some time with his family on vacation, so we hope they're having a great time celebrating little man's birthday, having some fun in the sun. But the young MG, Mason Goss, producer extraordinaire of audio, video, and anything else that can be produced. Mason Goss is with us with microphone. Welcome, Mason.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
He's been waiting for this moment.
Let me out of the cage. I've burst forth in all glory, and
that's right.
I've now taken over the radio show. This is Mason Goss.
That's right. Take
Speaking
it away.
for Texas Real Estate, I'm really glad to be here. Home prices are all right.
Okay, we'll take it back over here. As a matter of fact, this ridiculous article actually does forcefully, reluctantly acknowledge late in the article that home prices are actually still up. Year to date.
The reason I didn't have an answer to that question about home prices was because I didn't get to the bottom of the article because I was so scared.
You were
at the headline.
so terrified by the shock and awe of it all. If it bleeds, it leads, folks. And we're here today to offer you a clearer picture, a more honest picture of what's happening in residential real estate across the great state of Texas, but primarily here in Dallas-Fort Worth. We'll take your questions if you've got them. Feel free to send those. Social media is a good way to get them in. On Facebook, you can just find me directly at Todd Tramonte, or you can find our radio show page at Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte. You can also hit us up on the website, treradio.com. TRE is short for Texas Real Estate, so you don't forget it. Pretty clever name, if you ask me, Mason. treradio.com. AM.com. You can find all of our recommended professionals. You can find access to past radio show video and audio, and you can contact us just about any time. If you have a question about the show or buying or selling or anything, you can go to treradio.com, just click contact us, or you can always call us or text us, 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008. Just save that phone number in your cell phone. That way, if you have a question about a remodel, a repair, property value, property tax, buying, selling, investing, or just about anything related to your residential property, you can call or text us. We'll be happy to help you, even if you're not buying or selling, even if there's no commission involved for us. It is our goal to be a resource to you.
What was that number?
214-310-0008, or as some people say, 214-310-0008. You know how you want to go with the zeros or the O's, whatever you're into, or you can always go to overunderagent.com. All week, every week, we operate the Todd Tramonte home selling team and Market Experts Realty, as well as actually a coaching and consulting company to real estate agents all over the country. But most importantly, all week, every week, we are doing the things we talk about here on the show. We're helping, home buyers in Dallas, home sellers in Fort Worth. We don't do a lot of renters, but we do occasional renter when we're helping out a client or a friend. And we're breaking all-time records when it comes to selling homes. And lately, we've had our buyer specialists just absolutely dominating the negotiations for our buyers in a market where, honestly, sellers have the bulk of the leverage. So we guarantee to sell buyers at least $5,000 on the purchase price of their home, on the purchase process of their home. Might be price, might be negotiations, might be repairs. Usually, it's a lot more than that. And, of course, for years, we've been talking about how we guarantee to sell homes over the average price and under the average time. You can find out more information or get connected to one of our professionals, one of our experts at overunderagent.com. Now, we do have questions coming in. We will get to those in a minute. Feel free to send those in. Go to treradio.com. But I just because we led with all the hype about the crazy headlines, I do want to tell you really quickly what is true, and then we can break it down in more detail as we make our way through the show. Before we do that, if you haven't checked your property value in a while, you've got to go do that. It takes less than 1 minute. You can do that at valuethishouse.com. Find out what your home would sell for or rent for in the current market with relevant recent current market data at valuethishouse.com. That's valuethishouse.com. Now, the headline was statewide home sales continue to decrease.
Tell us the truth, Todd.
That is true, but it's misleading. When you say continue to decrease, how long has that been happening? Not very long. As a matter of fact, home sales were booming early in the year. Now, numbers of total sales, this is where it's accurate, were down a little bit before COVID, and they're down more during COVID. Here's the reason for that. Low inventory, right? The reason is not what this headline would like you to believe, which is no one wants to live here, or homes can't sell, or buyers don't want to buy them. None of those things are true. What is true is that fewer and fewer homes are on the market for sale. The ones that are on the market for sale are selling for more money than they have ever sold for. All of that, plus the media, plus confusion in the marketplace, is leading to a little bit longer time on market for homes in most areas of DFW than we've seen in several years. So there are some mixed data points, but what is 100% true right now is that we are in a seller's market where if a seller puts a home on the market, they've got a very good chance of selling that home. They've got a very good chance at selling that home at the highest price that home has ever sold for. That's not always happening, but that's happening regularly. It's happening at record-breaking prices when those sellers are using a really great agent. What else? The other things that are true are there are a few pockets where days on market are still unbelievably low. Most areas, days on market has stretched out a little bit. Some of that was because we went through fall and winter, where typically things slow down a little bit anyway. And as we came out of that into spring, we had, stay-at-home orders in most parts of the city. As we're seeing some of those restrictions kind of tighten back down, that I believe will keep inventory low, meaning less people are likely to put their house on the market than normal. Unemployment is having some impact on that. Some people lost their jobs and will stay in their homes when they wanted to move. Some people who lost their jobs will need to sell their homes, though, to get their equity out or to get into a more affordable living situation or to move towards another job.
Some people have probably been staying in their house, right, like the government has said, and realized, I don't really like this house that much.
Exactly. Some people have stayed in their homes and said, I'd like a larger home with a home office or with a swimming pool or a bigger yard. But others have said, they've repaired their homes. They've done remodel as they've been sitting around.
We shot a video on this. If you go to just go to YouTube and search Todd Tramonte, it'll pull right up. We shot a video. Are people moving to small towns? Right. Some people realizing, hey, I don't need to commute to work anymore. We're working from home. Why don't we just move to where a smaller town where the pace is a little bit slower, and I'm already working from home anyway.
Yep.
Maybe get a little land. I mean, that's definitely an option for a lot of people. We talked
about that on the show 3 or 4 weeks ago as we began to see that trend, which is somewhat predictable, but we began to see it actually happen. We've got buyer clients right now that went under contract this week for 11 acres. Another couple that went under contract for 20 acres. We're seeing people say, look, my quarter acre lot was fine, but if I can work virtually, I'd rather get some more space, lower overall cost, maybe even a larger home at lower overall cost, which means moving a little further away from the city. Plus, I'd love to see a slower pace of life, spend more time with the family, the kids at home. And so that trend is definitely happening. And
I'd be kidding if I said I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Look, I've thought about it, and I'm already on, a few acres or however you want to look at it. But we did that 6 years ago, and still dream of kind of more space. And this has queued us up for thinking about it even more reasonably. Now, as school districts start to announce different start dates and different school years and different opportunities for virtual learning and things, I think even more people are considering it. Like, okay, if virtual learning is required or an option at school, then shoot, education might change. We might be able to think about living, school districts are a huge draw for where people live, of course. So anyway, we're brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his team over at Cardinal Financial. PatrickGlaros.com is the first place you go with all your residential mortgage needs. It's where I go. It's where my wife and I go when we buy our homes. And it's where thousands of our clients have gone over the last 15 plus years of working with Patrick and his team. They believe what we believe, that God gives you unique gifts and abilities, and that a team allows for the client to have the very best experience and the very most value. So Patrick and Melanie and Rick and his whole team over there are really, really wonderful. Head over to PatrickGlaros.com. That's GLAROS, PatrickGlaros.com, or give him a call, 972-728-3420, 972-728-3420, or PatrickGlaros.com. Or if you ever forget information for any of our recommended pros, any of the people that we believe in and work with all the time, just go to treradio.com and they're all there. There's even more people there than we talk about on the radio. We don't always have a chance to talk about all of our recommended folks because it doesn't always come up in conversation, but treradio.com can get you info on Patrick Glaros, DP Lambert, Stryker Roofing, Reinhardt Service Company, tons of other people. I mean, there's lots of them. Kitchen, bathroom remodelers, videographers, inspectors, foundation companies, pool companies, commercial realtors, all kinds of stuff at treradio.com. If all else fails, just call us or text us and we'll be happy to tell you. You can text us anytime, 214-310-0008. We'd be happy to point you towards a contractor, remodeler, give you a little bit of advice. We've even had some people ask us lately, can I FaceTime you and show you something at my house and get your thoughts? We'd be happy to do that. 214-310-0008 or overunderagent.com. What else?
So if you read the Dallas Morning News, the market's crashing, doom and gloom. But if you listen to what we're saying, the truth, right, an accurate assessment of the market, things are really hot right now because it's the summer. People are opening back up. Things are
so hot.
Things are moving. For a lot of people, that begs the question, well, if I'm looking to buy a house, can't I just call the listing agent and make a deal, right? I'm probably driving around a little bit more, trying to get out of the house, seeing signs, seeing the numbers on the signs, calling them. And why do you need a buyer agent?
Would you like the short answer or the long answer? Or both?
Both.
Okay. Short answer, yes, you can do that. Long answer, that's generally a horrible idea. And let me just explain why. Clearly I'm biased, but let me tell you why I'm biased. Let me explain that same exact scenario with different terminology. If the market is hot and I'm seeing a few more signs go up in my neighborhood and I'm interested in buying some of them, wouldn't it be better for me to call the person that has a ethical and legal obligation to represent the other party to the transaction and whose job is to get me to pay the most money I can, to get me the least amount of repairs possible, to factor in my needs, my family, my financing, my timeline as little as possible? That's the question. Wouldn't it be better for me to do that? And the answer is no. Yes, you can do that. No, it is not wise to do that. A longer answer would be the benefits and the value of actually having someone who represents you and then gets paid by that seller. That's what's happening here. Now, here I have to talk about realtor commissions here. All commissions are negotiable and not set by law. Real estate agents should not all charge the same thing, nor should attorneys or doctors or accountants. Some real estate agents are terrible at their job and shouldn't get paid anything.
What?
It's true. It is true. Nailed it. Now, some real estate agents are excellent at their job and should probably get paid way more than they even ask to get paid. Our industry is stuck in the mud, assuming everybody sort of is worth the same thing. There are laws regulating that we should not all charge the same thing. We shouldn't fix prices. It's antitrust. So anyway, back to the answer of this question. The thought is, and I know some buyers think they're really, really smart. Some buyers are smart, but a lot of buyers think they're really smart and they're like, yeah, it's odd. But if I don't use a buyer agent, then I can save the commission that the seller was going to pay the buyer agent. And let me tell you this, not likely. Here's why. Sellers don't agree with their agent on a commission to pay a buyer agent. Sellers agree on a commission to pay their, what we call a marketing specialist, what most people call a listing agent, the agent that represents them. The agent then offers a part of their commission. Let's call them the listing agent. The listing agent negotiates a commission with the seller. And then the listing agent offers part of their listing commission to the buyer agent, not the seller. It's the agent sharing a portion of their commission. If there is no buyer agent, the listing agent collects all of that commission. That's what they've negotiated. You'll pay me X amount to go sell your house. If I need to, I'll share some of that with a buyer agent to bring in a buyer. If there is no buyer agent, you're paying me the same amount to help to work with that buyer and you and get the job done. Same result, same fee. I either use it to incentivize a buyer agent or use it to work both sides of the deal. That's how it works. 98 out of 100 times, let's say 94 out of 100 times. There's some different business models out there why that money might be spent or less might be charged or whatever, but it's just a bad idea, almost always a bad idea for a buyer to go unrepresented with any seller. Let me just add this, especially a home builder. Now, let's flip the script real quick. Is it okay for a seller to go without an agent? I know we get this question all the time. I'm just going to sell it by owner. The market's hot. I'm just going to put a sign out front. I'm not going to pay an agent. People want to buy houses. There's not enough houses. Todd Tramonte told me on the radio, inventory's low, buyer demand is high. I'm just going to go take advantage of it, and I'm going to sell my house. So if that question were being asked right now, which it is because it's always being asked, here's the answer to that. Yes, you can do that. No, it is not wise. And here, let me tell you all the reasons, right? Here's the reason. No one's going to know your house is for sale unless they drive by it. I mean, like for sale by owner homes are so horribly marketed, so terribly marketed. Here's the funniest thing. And I say this I need to be careful that I'm not like insulting to for sale by owners because I respect the effort, and bad experiences with real estate agents often lead people to not want to use an agent. And I don't blame them for that. But for sale by owners typically put their home for sale on websites that are for sale by owners. Yet no buyers go look at houses on websites that are for sale by owners. They don't come up and search, and no one goes and, I wonder if there's any for sale by owner websites out there. Let me try to search for them by name.
I work in a real estate company. I'd never thought about that.
Yeah, it doesn't, no one does it. Craigslist, stuff like that, maybe, but not traditional, upper middle, high end homes in Dallas, Fort Worth. It just doesn't happen in any number, in any mass, with any momentum. Yes, of course, someone somewhere does that sometime, but not enough to expect to sell your home well. So you have less eyeballs on your property, less competition on your property. But a lot of for sale by owners get a lot of phone calls because that's what a sign in the yard in an attractive neighborhood does. But very, very few, like less than 5% of for sale by owners actually sell their own home themselves and close and fund and complete the sale. Over 95% that actually sell end up hiring a real estate agent to get it done.
That's crazy.
It doesn't mean that the agent they hire is any good because a lot of people are still stuck with a bad agent. And I understand that's why people are motivated to sell their house themselves or buy a house without an agent because they've had a cruddy agent. And a lot of agents are bad. My encouragement,
and there are a ton out there.
My encouragement, instead of taking on the headache of representing yourself, take on the very small headache of doing a little research and interviewing a few agents. Obviously, call us. We'd love to explain how we're different, why we're different. 214-310-0008 for the Todd Tramonte home selling team or online at overunderagent.com. But even if it's not us, interview some companies that look professional. Interview a small one, interview a big one, interview a solo agent, interview a team. I mean, you don't have to interview 4, but choose a couple. Call them, review their websites, look at their Google reviews, ask around, ask a friend.
Here's a question that you should ask.
Yep.
What are you doing to market the home?
Exactly.
A lot of times the answer is,
process?
Oh, we're putting it on all the websites. Yeah, but that's what everyone else does. So, that's always a good question, probing question to see, are they doing something more than just putting it on a bunch of websites?
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go to the break here in a minute for news and everything. And then when we come back, I will tell you what questions you should ask before you hire an agent.
That's good.
I'll give you the exact questions you should ask in order to hire a real estate agent.
I'm going to start writing these down.
They might be pretty good. We'll see. Before that, I want you to call DP Lambert with any of your insurance needs. If you have not shopped your home and auto insurance in the last 12 months, I want you to call 214-838-5684. 214-838-5684 for DP Lambert. Or you can just email them at dp.lambert@goosehead.com. dp.lambert@goosehead.com. We'll tell you the exact questions to ask a real estate agent before you hire them. When we come back from the break, check your value at valuethishouse.com.
Tramonte.
What questions should you ask a real estate agent, a realtor, a realtor before you hire them? And you should hire one, by the way. If you missed the first half of the show, we had several questions come in that all sort of pointed in the same direction. Should I buy a house and just call the name on the sign and not have my own agent? No. Yes, you can, but no, it is not wise. We went into a lot of depth as to why you're actually not going to save any money and you are likely to get steamrolled by another agent. Should I sell my house without an agent? Probably an even worse decision. You are almost every single time you do that going to take home less money. And way more headache and sleep less and live with a slight uncertainty for years following. It's just not a great way to do anything. Hire an expert and get the value of an expert. There are lots of people who have done both of those. They've bought a house without an agent and sold a house without an agent, and they're really happy with their situation. And that's fine. Look, if it worked out for you, great. But I can tell you right now, if you brought me all the documentation from those deals and you told me all the scenarios, I could point out how you should have and could have and would have done a lot better. And I'm not saying that to be cocky. And I don't, like, if you came to me and said, I sold my house last month for sale by owner, I would tell you, wonderful, congratulations. There's no point in trying to rub it in or make you feel bad about it. But if you have the ability to change and make a decision and do that differently, I'm telling you, I've done this too long to not warn you that lacking an expert that does this all day, every day, that understands the ins and outs of the market and who is obligated ethically and legally to do what's best for you, you're going to lose. And if without that, you're going to lose. By the way, that includes even hiring a bad agent. Sometimes that's just as bad as doing it yourself. And I'm not saying, gamble. I'm saying if you're going to deal with a little bit of delay, a little bit of frustration, just take on the task of interviewing agents and finding the right one that will put more money in your pocket. Waste none of your time, right? That will value your time, your energy, your money, and your family and your personal financial and lifestyle goals. There's so much more to this.
I would even say if it does work out for you, you sell your home for sale by owner, the point is that those are the outliers.
Right.
Those are the exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
99 times out of 100,
you would have been way better off with an agent. And 95 out of 100 times, literally, it doesn't work. For sale by owner does not work. Well over 90% of the time, you end up having to hire an agent. Or selling to some investor, some online, we'll buy it right now kind of person. Which, by the way, if you want someone to do that, we'll be glad to do that. Go to overunderagent.com. Or go to call or text 214-310-0008.
Todd, I thought we've had a few shows where you rail on those kind of buyers, and now we're doing it too.
Now I have to answer that, and then I promise I am going to give you the questions to ask before you hire an agent. But now that Mason said that, I've got to explain myself. We have a program we call the Lightning Offer Program, where we will get you an offer for your house within 24 hours. We'll get you cash offers on your house within a matter of days. What I rail on is the dishonesty and misleading marketing of national and sometimes international investor companies deliberately misleading people by saying, we will make you an offer based on full market value. It's a really clever piece of copywriting because they are going to base their offer on full market value, about 20% less than full market value. Now, the offer will typically come in 9 or 10% less than full market value, and then they will almost always erode another 9 to 10% of your equity through fees and inspection and repair reductions. This show's not about that. I'm not going to spend a ton more time on that. That's what I rail against. The misleading, harmful approach. And they typically, and I have to be very careful about this, but they typically take advantage of certain segments of the market. It typically is a less informed seller or someone who's in a big hurry or someone who's got a desperate situation, who doesn't have as much time to do the research or compare, or who's slightly more vulnerable to that compelling marketing message. It's crappy. I'm just going to say it. I probably shouldn't have said that word, but it's not cool. It's not okay.
Parents, cover your children's ears.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think I've ever done that on radio. That's about as far as I've ever gone. But it's just not okay. And that's why it gets me fired up, because it takes advantage of people. Even if you don't hire us, hire a professional agent to evaluate what your home is worth. Full-time, world-class track record agent with a team with resources, and have them, before you ever sell to a company like that. Now, if you've done your research and you really would like a quick cash offer, then we'd be happy to do that. We will buy it ourselves, or one of our investor clients will buy it. But we're going to be very upfront with you that that's an investment for us. We are not going to pay you the same amount that we could get for you if we marketed it to a family or an individual who wanted to buy it and live there. We're going to need to pay less for that so that we can turn around and sell it or rent it and make some money. Now, we're willing to do that really quickly and make it really easy for you and let you stay in it for a while and close pretty much whenever you want so that there's some real value in it for you. But that's what we call our lightning offer program. It's fast, but it is going to be for less money than if we were sell it to the general public. We want to be really open with you on that. That's almost never our primary first offer. We're glad to let you know that we'll do that, and we're happy to do it as long as you're really well aware that you probably could have got more money if we did our full marketing program to the public.
Can we get just like a collective sigh of relief? Because that just feels much better to hear someone say it honestly and ethically.
And it feels better for when we do that, right? When someone says, hey, I totally get it. I understand that if we sold to the public, we could get X, and we're going to get X minus Y, but we're cool with that. The money's not the most important thing to us in this situation. We'd rather just have it off of our plate in the next 8 days. And we're like, great. Happy to do that. We'll get a good deal. You'll get what you want. Everything's above board. Everyone knows it. We'll sign a couple of extra documents just to make sure that we're all on the same page of what's happening here. And, you don't forget later, if anything, we over disclose that. So it's not our leading offer because it's usually not what's best for people, but sometimes it is what's best for people. And in those situations, we're happy to make you an all cash offer quickly, usually within 24 hours. You can get all that info at overunderagent.com. You can connect with one of our experts at overunderagent.com, or you can call or text 214-310-0008. This segment is brought to you by the amazing folks over at Stryker Roofing. You've heard me say many times, they've done a roof at my house. They did some interior remodel work at multiple clients' places, and I've referred them a bunch lately. StrykerBuilds.com, BUILDS, StrykerBuilds.com, or 844-243-ROOF. Always tell them Todd Tramonte sent you. They'll take really good care of you. If ever you forget Stryker's information or anybody else's information, just go to treradio.com. TRE is short for Texas Real Estate, treradio.com. Now, we promised I would give you the questions to ask a real estate agent before you hire them.
I need a drum roll drop. I don't have one, unfortunately.
There it is.
But this is important.
It is important.
Go ahead. What should
Are
we
you
ask?
full-time? Is this the thing you do as a career all day, every day, most days, right? There are a lot of real estate agents. The majority of people with a real estate license are not full-time. Let's just say your budget to buy or sell your home is $300,000. You sell your house for $300,000, or you were going to pay $300,000 to buy a house. Let's just do some parallels here. If you were going to court in a legal situation and there was $300,000 at risk, would you hire a part-time attorney? Would you hire an attorney who is just like the closest one to your house? Would you hire any attorney that any of your friends had ever used? Just like, well, somebody used them. That's good enough for me. Would you hire an attorney? You have a $300,000 legal scenario about your business. Would you hire an attorney who usually does family law? No. That's $300,000 equivalent. Probably not life or death, but you had a major medical procedure that would affect your mobility for the rest of your life. Would you go to a brand new doctor who just came out of medical school, has not specialized in what you need, but they're cheap? No, you would not do that. Let's say you had a $300,000 tax bill. Would you go to like the guy standing on the corner in a costume waving a flag that says, come get your taxes done?
Maybe.
It's only $12, free, buy one, get one. We'll do your friend's taxes for free. Would you go to that person if it was $300,000 at stake? No one does any of this stuff except for real estate, right? So they got to be full-time. They've got to have a track record of success. They have to not be a solo agent. They can't be the Lone Ranger. They can't be trying to juggle the absolute tremendous complexity of buying, selling, or investing in real estate all by themselves. Now, they don't necessarily have to be at a big giant brokerage, because most big giant brokerages are just a bunch of single businesses, a bunch of single individual businesses. There are some individual agents that have staff to help them with some of the stuff. So it doesn't necessarily mean an individual agent can't get it done, but they have to have access to other professionals who can pitch in to the process to be really, really helpful in juggling a lot of really complex items that come up during the process of buying, selling, or investing in real estate. So are they full-time? Do they have a track record of success? Are they working with other professionals, other experts? Can they bring other opinions, insights, expertise to the table? And then, I think you need to ask them the question, how do you go about it? What's your process? What's your system? Can you show me, tell me, explain to me what you do? Or is every transaction a completely new experience, and you're smart and you're nice and you're well-intentioned, but you're winging it? That's what you need to know, because there's a category of agents that are just generally terrible, right? Like they're just in it for the money. They just want to do a deal whenever they can, and they're just a terrible idea. Then there's the next category, and this is probably not the biggest category, because the one we just mentioned is the biggest category, but there's a large number of people who are really smart, really nice, and really want to do a good job, but they still don't have a professional business owner's approach to selling real estate. They work hard, they're really nice, they're smart, but they still aren't an expert. They still don't have a system, a process to be more consistent, more efficient, to be more predictive of results, to be able to create consistent, predictable, repeatable process and results for their clients. They're working hard. It's really inefficient. They're really nice, but there's still some mistakes. They want what's best, but they don't always get it. What you're looking for is a world-class, dedicated expert with a track record of results, with a team of experts around them, either staff or other agents or, assistants or virtual help, or really, 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 really great collection of contributing vendor partners with a set expectation of how they work together. And honestly, I would add some form of guarantee, right? You might not feel like that's necessary. I think so, because I think a real estate agent has so much impact on your outcome. I think it's important to have some form of a guarantee, right? If things don't go well, this is how we'll help. For example, we guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. We establish on every home we sell, what is the average price for this home right now in this area, this market? What is the average time? If for whatever reason we're not able to sell it over the average price and under the average time, we will then give you some options. We will pay some of your closing costs. We'll send you on a paid vacation. Or for some reason, if we're not able to do that and not even get it sold at all, you can cancel your agreement with us and walk away, and you don't have to reimburse us for our expenses. You don't have to owe us anything, right? So you have multiple choices of how to exercise that guarantee. On the buy side, we guarantee we will save you at least $5,000 throughout the purchase process, or same things. We'll pay some of your closing costs. We'll send you on a paid vacation, or you could fire us and walk away if we're not helping you buy at all. Those things almost never happen, but every once in a while, we do hundreds of transactions a year, maybe once a year, probably not even that often, we end up paying some closing costs for somebody, and we volunteer to do it. We say, hey, you know what? We were a little bit off on days on market. It took us longer, and we're going to pay this for you. And people tend to say, oh, no, it's still great. We loved it. We say, nope, we want to back that up. We want to do the right thing here. And they end up saying, you guys are so incredible. We want to tell all our friends about you, which is great. And I'm not saying that to build us up. I'm saying that it's rare, but when it happens, we back it up. And people are really happy to see that we do that. So it's not all about me. It's not all about the Todd Tramonte home selling team. But if you're shopping for an agent and we are not your first call, well, I think we should be one of your calls. Shop us with other folks and ask the other folks those questions. Ask your friend, your cousin, your mother-in-law, your sister, your neighbor those questions. You shouldn't feel shy to ask them if they are experts, if they're worthy of stewarding your $300,000 or whatever your situation is.
You had a good point on a video we shot last week, which was kind of around this subject, which was don't hire someone to do them a favor. Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was really powerful. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people say, look, hey, my nephew just got his real estate license. I'm going to throw him a bone. We're going to try to help him get going. Same thing. If your nephew had just limped out of law school and you might lose $300,000 in court,
it's not really something you want to throw a bone.
You know, hey, let me do this guy a favor. It might ruin my future financial, but let's see if I can help him out.
Yeah, let's maybe
I need
do something else.
surgery.
Do something else for him. Maybe not the biggest purchase of your life.
And the other piece of this that I've tiptoed around, but I haven't mentioned it, is specialization and expertise. Right? You don't want to hire a dentist to do ankle surgery. Right? And in real estate, a lot of people just never specialize, which means they're not really excellent at anything. They're decent at a lot of things, but they may not be excellent at anything. You do want to try to find someone. One of the questions you should ask is, what do you specialize in? Where are you world class, right? Our agents on our team speak at national events to hundreds of real estate agents about what they do because they've been recognized as experts at what they do. You know, John and Jeremy only work with sellers. Leah, Brandon, David only work with buyers. You know, our staff only work in marketing or only work in client support. Some of them never face a client and only work in support. And I believe in expertise. I believe it drives a tremendous amount of value to the client. If we can ever offer our expertise to you, give us a call. 214-310-0008 or text us 214-310-0008. Just save that in your phone number, 214-310-0008, or go online to overunderagent.com, where we do guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. Guaranteed. Now, we always have time for repeat and referral clients and people that our past clients and friends introduce us to. We're limited to somewhere right around a dozen new seller clients every month. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less. It really depends on the time availability and the bandwidth of our experts. We are not going to tell you, yes, we can get that done if we are not super confident that we can get it done. So if we're slammed and we're overloaded, we might say to you, hey, if you can wait a week or two, we'll have the bandwidth to do that. Or we just don't have the time to deliver those results for you right now. We would be glad to refer you to somebody else. Or if you're not in a huge hurry and you could wait a little bit, we'll put you kind of front of the line. We'll have you kind of next up. But
the fact that we say like, hey, we may not be able to take on more clients speaks to the fact that we're trying to give expertise to everyone, right? I mean, it would be betraying.
Well, clearly, if it was all about the money, you'd just take every client and do a decent enough job and get it done. And I don't mean to say, look at us, how noble we are. I mean to say, I'm just not willing to risk it. I'm not willing to take on a client and not do a great job. And then that's the reputation, or that's their experience with us, or the way we impacted that family might actually be negatively. Like, the primary motivator for us at the Todd Tramonte Home Selling Team is how we can impact families in the community here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
And build relationships.
And then that's why we do coaching and consulting with agents all over the country, is so we can impact families all over the country, all over the world. So it's more important that a family has a great experience and that we add some value to their life than we just pick up one more client. So that's why we have that limitation. That's why we have a waiting list at times for sellers. And I don't, it sounds a little awkward, but we prioritize past clients and the people that they introduce us to. It's kind of family first deal. Doesn't mean we still absolutely love new clients, especially our radio listeners and friends and neighbors. But because of that, occasionally we have a waiting list. It's usually not like, we'll be back in 6 months. It might be like, hey, in 3 weeks, we have a window of time opening up where we can deliver everything we promise. At the moment, I don't think we can fully deliver, so I'm not gonna tell you that we can. So, by the way, we are pretty darn close to that cap right now, late June, early July, as we head into, all those crazy headlines about how the market was a little bit slower in April and May have led to a booming June and July. Don't get caught in June and July with some knucklehead agent who was asleep March, April, and May who hasn't sold real estate for a while, who just kind of, closed their eyes and came out of hibernation a little late.
Cross their fingers.
Yeah.
Please let this end.
Use an expert. Ask the questions we've been talking about. Go get you world-class value. We would love to be the ones who deliver that at the Todd Tramonte home selling team. But if it's not us, ask those questions. If you've already got somebody and you can run them through that filter, wonderful. Use them. I love that. But if you have any doubt that your agent, your broker, the sign in your neighborhood, that, whatever you've been hearing and seeing, if you have any doubt that you don't have someone who's world-class expert with a system, with great people around them, who care more about the value and impact in your life than them just picking up another client and a commission, if you don't already have that, go to overunderagent.com. Overunderagent.com.
And you've heard from us, this whole show trying to pitch to you like why it's important to have a full-time world-class expert. You can also hear from our ex-clients, right? Past clients, excuse me, not ex-clients. They're still
careful, brother.
Yeah. Just Google us, right? Todd Tramonte Home Selling Team, and read what people have said about their experience with us.
Yeah, we don't talk about it a lot, but I think there's 200 and something people there, more than any other individual agent or team I've seen anywhere in the Metroplex. And there's all sorts of reviews there. There's reviews about the whole process. There's reviews about part of the process. There's reviews about certain agents. There's reviews about the whole team. There's reviews about our methodology, our philosophy. I'm really grateful for our past clients that take the time to go to Google and write a review. Some of them have come in to be on radio and do videos and be interviewed by our friends, on this station and others. It takes a lot for me to tell you I trust another company, and I think it's true for other people. So when people tell the world that they trust us, that means a lot to me. So if that kind of thing interests you or motivates you, definitely go to Google, just Google Todd Tramonte, and our little business profile or whatever it's called will come up. You'll see our reviews. You'll see some photos. We do some educational posting on there and things like that. Also check out YouTube, tthst.tv, for tons of educational videos, including past radio show segments and shows. If you haven't checked your property value in the last 30 days, go to valuethishouse.com. You can do that in less than a minute. Normally, I'd say do that once in the summer, once in the winter. But with this crazy market, do it every month. Valuethishouse.com.
I think your property value just went up as you've added two
more than
rockimals, we'll call them.
That's right.
They're these old-fashioned cast iron, animal, spring-loaded.
Yeah, man.
What are they? Swing things?
Yeah, they're like little rocking kids' toys. And Mason and his incredible wife, Jenny, just bought their 2-year flip. They're remodeling it right now. They ripped those bad boys out of their backyard. We sweated our way to drag them into my truck, took them to the house, painted them. They're awesome. My kids love them. They're so cool. Hey, go check out the value of your house, valuethishouse.com. If we can help you buy or sell, guaranteed to make you a bunch of money. Go to overunderagent.com, overunderagent.com. We'll be back next week with more Texas real estate right here on WBAP.